your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. Sam Flannel in for D-Mac. Flannel, what's going on?
Hey, good weekend. Lots of good NHL and NBA playoffs to watch. It was unfortunate that the Red Wings weren't in, and obviously the Pistons aren't in either, not even close. But it's certainly an electric first couple of days. Saturday all-day playoffs, Sunday all-day playoffs. You just can't beat it. Very relaxing, very fun.
We have KG in the house. KG, what's really good?
You tell me, man. What's up?
I'm just living, man.
Just living, man.
Spencer Raxter here in the pressure cooker. What's going on, Spenmo?
Not much. Just chilling.
Just chilling?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are scheduled to be joined by Jerome Bettis, the bus, right? The former Detroit Mackenzie great, to talk about some of the cool events that are going on in and around the NFL draft. Also, Sean Wilson, the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan. Really great organization. We will talk to both of them because it is NFL draft week, by the way. Get in, everybody. Here we go, Flannel.
3 days.
And guys, I'm trying. For real. And this is it. And we have to get used to this. A lot has changed for us as Lions fans.
That's true.
And I've talked about the fact, leading up to it, that win at Kansas City in week 1 really was the beginning of a different era for Lions fans. And Flannel, even for, nostalgia's sake, I want to get into it.
Sure.
I do. But when you're a good football team, so this is how the other half lives.
Yeah.
You just kind of wait there. All right, who we got? Okay, that's who we're taking. All right, cool. When's training camp start? Because that's how I feel right now.
I don't blame you at all. I mean, we look at the previous few years. Obviously, the 2021 draft, the Lions were able to nab Penei Sewell, a franchise-changing pick, top 10 pick. Same with the next draft with Aiden Hutchinson, franchise-changing pick, top 10 pick. And even last year, you had 2 in the first round. You had Jahmyr Gibbs, who they had to do a little bit of maneuvering from, a 6 overall pick turned into a 12 overall pick, but still, what presumably is a franchise-changing first-round pick, along with Jack Campbell, of course. This year, I mean, do we even necessarily have to nab a starter? More on that maybe later, but
With the first pick, I contend no.
I think we're going to all be pretty cool with no matter what happens, unless, of course, Brad Holmes does something really outside the box. But even so, I think no matter what happens in this draft, the Detroit Lions will be one of the favorites to get to and win the Super Bowl this year. No matter what happens. They could have what on paper could be the worst draft in NFL history, and it still wouldn't matter for this year. And does that take some of the juice away from it? Sure, because for so long, it was more our Super Bowl than the actual season. Because we knew there was no hope for so many years, but now the tides have changed.
Yeah, now, the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is the Super Bowl.
It's really wild, man.
Who would have thought?
I know, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But, again, I have to get used to that. And look, we're into it. I've done the due diligence, and I'm in there and paying attention to what's going on in the draft. For the first time ever, I'm kind of more intrigued with what's going to happen inside the top 10 that doesn't involve the Detroit Lions, because you have teams in the division that you're chasing that are in a spot, kind of an advantageous spot, which we'll get into it. We have everything going on. We're going to get to the NFL draft stuff. There is no doubt about that. So we definitely are. But I do have to talk about this with you. And the Tigers took 2 or 3 in Minnesota, and they pretty much are what they are. They're a 500 team that got to play the White Sox once. That's pretty much, KG, is that fair?
It's fair.
It's what they are.
Yeah, to this point, it's fair.
And it's fine. It's cool. Yeah. It's fine. I think you're going to see this jockeying for the Central Division title back and forth. But we do need to talk about a huge development within the Tigers organization. To me. What?
Nah,
What?
I'm interested to hear what you're about to say.
No, it's big because I'm wondering if there is room in Detroit. Is there room in Detroit? And Spencer, this one goes to you too. Is there room in Detroit for 2 Kennedys? Sam Flannel, you are dismissive of Tom Kennedy. Even though he had big first down catches in road games. You totally dismiss him as a player. What about Buddy Kennedy?
I mean,
Kennedy.
I'll tell you what.
2 homers, you can't dismiss him.
Kennedy.
I'm more on board with Buddy Kennedy than Tom Kennedy. I am. That was a big home run. That was a huge play.
Mr. Kennedy.
I'll give you that when it comes to Buddy Kennedy. It's just when it came to Tom, he became quite the folk hero.
Kennedy.
The folk hero. You know how I feel about folk heroes, especially folk heroes who win me bets.
We made our D&D characters this weekend, and one of my attributes is folk hero.
Kennedy.
I'm a half orc barbarian.
Is your nickname Kennedy?
No, his name's Grognak the Great.
Grognak.
You should change it to Kennedy the Great.
I should.
Can we take it to the streets? Because I'm curious. Is there room in Detroit for 2 Mr. Kennedys?
Absolutely.
There is? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean, TK85, not to be outdone by TK85, but I mean, Buddy Kennedy, you got to love it, man. You got to love it.
Kennedy. FJ1967. Jump into that chat, by the way. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. FJ1967. Good morning, Neal in chat. He left you out, though, Flannel.
They do that a lot.
Is Sam Flannel going to stand on business with Jerome Bettis? We'll talk about that later on.
Jerome Bettis is to be rescheduled.
He is.
Jerome Bettis is to be rescheduled. Yes.
Okay, so all right. Well, keep your eyes on the Woodward Sports Network. Scheduled to be joined
Sam
by the bus
escaped.
Jerome Bettis. Is there room in Detroit for 2 Mr. Kennedys? Early returns, yes, 57%. No, 12%. Kennedy, 30%. So I'll take Kennedy as a default yes.
Yeah.
It's a yes.
Okay, 90% of the people say yes then.
You can't go wrong with the name Kennedy, just the last name Kennedy.
Have we forgotten about Tom Kennedy?
Well, you should. He
I haven't.
I haven't
pass last year. He didn't do anything.
Here we
I know
go with the
I know
hate.
he was hurt, but that was
Absolutely.
a major W for me, and none of you can deny that. None of you can deny that.
I just want to know where the people are with it. Do we have room? Buddy Kennedy, who was drafted in the 5th round of the 2017 Major League Baseball draft, signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks, signed for $550,000, forego his commitment to play college baseball at the University of North Carolina. So Mr. Kennedy hit his 2nd career home run.
Mike G in the Woodward Sports chat. Congratulations to the University of Michigan for a huge win in the spring game this weekend. That's true.
That was a big
Big
win.
win.
That was a big win. Will they count that in the regular season standings? They probably will, right?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
All right. Whatever. Adiz 411. Bettis didn't want to deal with Sam Flannel. Do you think the streets alerted?
Yeah.
I mean, I that chatter did carry over to on air. It was pretty heated one day, so who knows? I would.
Oh man, hate.
He doesn't have to bother himself what some jack-off flannel-wearing man says. So it's all.
And nor should anybody else. But anyway, Harley says, I've met WWE former superstar Mr. Kennedy.
Wasn't he at one of D-Mac's events?
I believe so, yeah, and I should have been there. And I think I was out of town. I fumbled the bag on that one.
Yeah.
I should have been there for that.
Shout out to Mr. Kennedy, man.
Shout out Mr.
He was
Kennedy.
a great wrestler.
Mr. Kennedy was great. I was at WrestleMania 23
Oh, Detroit.
at Ford Field.
Detroit, yeah.
That saw Mr. Kennedy's Money in the Bank victory.
Yeah. Never got to cash in on that. It's a damn shame.
He didn't?
No, he lost the briefcase to somebody. I can't remember who now. But
Damn.
Yeah.
I was there, though, for
Wait,
greatness.
they can take the briefcase away from you after you already won it?
Yeah, in the storyline, he ended up putting it up in a match, and he lost the match. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Tough break for Mr. Kennedy.
Still a GOAT, though.
Kennedy. Power rank your Kennedys. Power rank them. Come on.
JFK number
fifth.
No. Just the 3 Kennedys involved, all right? We're not going to get political or anything like that. Tom Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, and Buddy Kennedy.
Buddy Kennedy, yeah.
I'll say this. If you go off the weekend, Buddy Kennedy won.
Sure.
Yeah,
TK 85 and Mr. Kennedy tied for 2nd.
that's true.
That's my rankings.
Fair enough.
Rank them, Flannel.
I would say I would go Tom 3, Buddy 2, Mr. Kennedy 1.
You hating on time.
Even after the home run?
He's number 2. It's all, I mean it's all well and good. He had it was a nice hit, especially with how the Tigers. especially a guy like Spencer Torkelson hasn't found his power stroke yet. Getting a guy like Buddy Kennedy to hit one was huge.
Torkelson will hit one in the next game.
100%.
He's been
had
barreling
2
off the
hits.
ball pretty well.
100%. He's played a lot better. But
Just put it in play. That's all.
I'll be honest though, Buddy Kennedy does fit the 100% profile of player that I would hate.
And-
100%.
Why do the Tigers have so many white dudes on their team? Like, everybody, like, there's just so many white guys. It's so funny. And all of our prospects are doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know?
They do got to kill Badu still.
Ton of white dudes. Akil Badu, yeah. Like,
He's in
Wenzel
the Bibles,
Perez,
but still.
Avi Baez, but then just whites. Whites.
Maybe they'll relocate the franchise to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, you never know.
They better not. The Salt Lake City Tigers. Yuck.
No, but we do. We have a lot of draft stuff to get to in the show today. Lots of Kennedy talk. If that's what you guys want to do, early chat. Is the room in Detroit for 2 Mr. Kennedys? 54% of you say yes. 13% of you say no. And Kennedy gets 33% of the backing. I don't feel like you feel that, Flannel, because you already immensely hate Tom Kennedy.
It's not.
So I think the hate in your heart would drive out room. If you're already auto-driving out a Kennedy, how do you have room in your heart for love for a Kennedy?
Well, I don't really have love for a Kennedy. I've got respect for what Buddy Kennedy did.
So you have respect for what Buddy Kennedy did, but you don't have respect for what Tom Kennedy did with those big first down catches on the road in New York.
No,
These are facts.
I respect what he did. It's just the way that
But you don't respect him as a man.
Well, and if we're being honest, it wasn't just this show that turned me off to Tom Kennedy. The first person to really just like blow their wads over Tom Kennedy was Maz, to the shock of absolutely no one. That got me kind of annoyed with him from the beginning. And then, of course, we all know what happened with this show. It turned into a runaway train that I could not stop.
Runaway train, never look back.
All right, what is Paul Thomas here? A young Jackie Kennedy Onassis greater than Tom Kennedy. But if you're hyphenated, are you really a Kennedy?
I don't think so.
It's not the same.
Don't think it counts.
You got to stand on your Kennedy business.
Yeah, you're either
Kennedy.
full Kennedy or no Kennedy.
Right, absolutely. Wait, if you're like, KG, bring this full circle. If you're a hyphenated Kennedy, was that the equivalent of being like a light-skinned Kennedy or not?
Absolutely.
Okay,
It's the exact same.
I got to stay up. I got to stay up on what the streets say. People are saying Flannel Sam doesn't have the street cred in Pontiac that Neal does.
He don't.
No, of course
Definitely not.
No, not
That
even,
is true.
Not even close.
Sam got to check in.
He does, man. Hey, when you're going through over by Pontiac Central High School, let me know, Flannel.
I gotcha.
I'll turn the streets on to you, just to make sure that your time is all right there.
Have a safe ride.
Yeah, don't be acting the fool, though, because they do. You know what I'm saying?
They'll give him a little straightening. They'll give him a little straightening.
100%. Like, and they work on full authority, KG. If he's out there, being out of pocket, that's on him at that point.
It is.
There are no more allies at that point. That's on you. Robert Colosia, TK85, throws touchdowns.
He does.
That is facts.
That is, yeah.
Kennedy.
All right, guys, when we come back, we are getting into the NFL draft. Tell them about Dispo.
Absolutely. Visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory for Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order on Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. The world is about to have their eyes on Detroit, so we figure we show them how Detroit parties. Join us at the 313 Draft Party, presented by Flagger Law on Woodward and Adams in Detroit, April 25th and 26th. That's right, we're taking over the city with a live broadcast from the 313 Draft Party, sponsored by Jars, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown, covering the NFL Draft like only Woodward Sports can. Join the entire Woodward family when the first round begins at 8 p.m. This party is 21 plus, free to the public, public. It opens at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Come watch the live broadcast for rounds 1, 2, and 3 at the best draft party in the D. Ain't no party like a Detroit party, especially when you party with Woodward Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Sorokas, Glorious, and Fire Law. All we do is win.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan and Jerome Bettis' Bus Stop Here Foundation is proud to present the 3C Sports Conference to educate, inform, and inspire players, coaches in our local communities. That's right, featuring impactful speakers like Jerome Bettis, The Bus, Eddie George, Adam Schefter, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. Perhaps you've heard of them. April 24th through the 26th. This week, everybody, it's draft week. It's all going down, like all these events everywhere, and you can be a part of it. Scan that code on the screen right now. Scan the QR code. You can be a part of it. The 3C Sports Conference in Detroit. Mr. Kennedy.
KG.
We will, second hour, exclusive Buddy Kennedy content here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Flannel Sam, KG in the house, Spencer Raxter as well. Robert Colosia. Now, you guys know our network is vast, and we always have a pulse on what's going on in the community. Robert Colosia, for those that don't know, a sports agent, by the way, West Coast guy, watches Big D Energy out on the West Coast. Shout out. On Friday, he told us about this too. Trademarks were filed by Utah for the hockey team. The Utah Blizzard, the Utah Venom, the Utah Fury, the Utah Hockey Club.
Ew. Why?
Right.
Unfortunately, no soakers or magic underpants.
L.
Damn.
L Utah. Common Utah L.
The common Utah L. Across all fronts.
Yeah.
I can't even lie to Utah Blizzard. That's a code name, though. I can't even.
Literally.
I can't
Yeah.
even know.
You might as well just name it that at this point.
Yeah, but there's an arena football team a hockey team in Green Bay called the Blizzard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Common Utah L.
Common Utah L.
Big fact.
Orcas would be cool.
The Utah.
If they had
Orcas.
whales?
Right.
I mean,
Utah
do they have
Orcas.
blizzards?
I think so.
I mean, they have mountains. It would make sense.
Yeah. So that was it.
Do they have jazz? They don't have jazz.
They don't have jazz. not even close.
Mike G, Utah Fury is kind of cool. Former arena football team of the Detroit Fury, by the way.
Fury's a great movie. One of Brad Pitt's best performances.
Tom Luganville was a head coach.
Fantastic movie.
IT
Shia LaBeouf.
IT Hips. What time is the bus coming on? The buses, people reach out to us. They have to reschedule.
They
So
must
keep
reschedule.
an eye on Woodward Sports. We'll get that reset and get the bus to you. Don't worry. It's draft week. We got it on. All right, Danny G. I'm bricked for this draft. It's here. Like, it's here in Detroit. And look, I do want to get into the picks and stuff like that, but I want to bottom line this. I went downtown last week. I had something to do for the Detroit Grand Prix. And are we ready? Like, is the city ready?
Yeah,
We're ready.
I believe so.
I saw, like, the stage is set down there at Campus Martius. Looks incredible.
Yeah.
Just the people. And this is where I'm leaning on kind of you guys in the chat. Are we ready for this, Flannel? I mean, there's going to be 1/4 to 1/3 of a million people down here.
I honestly think that nothing can make you adequately ready for an event like this. I mean, think about just even if we're talking about the last time Detroit had a Super Bowl, which was the one that
Jerome Bettis played
yeah,
him.
absolutely.
I don't know if you know that or not. He was from Detroit and won the
Yes,
Super Bowl in
yes,
Detroit.
Yes, congratulations to the Steelers and Jerome Bettis for that Super Bowl. Who would have thought how much this city has grown? I mean, my wife, who's a native Detroiter, I am not, told me that there were even not very many streetlights around at the time. I don't know if that's true or not, but she always says so. Yeah. And now we're hosting an NFL draft with fans from all over the United States, from fans of every single team that just want to see their favorite, their new, hopefully, star for them get picked. I don't know if any of us are ready for that, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to know for sure until I drive down there on Thursday and see where I can park, stuff like that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to certainly be a very festive atmosphere, but no, I personally don't see myself as ready, and I don't think there's anything in the world that can prepare you for the NFL draft being in Detroit. Think about this. Wasn't it for a very long time an exclusive New York City event?
It was.
And now it's coming to Detroit. Unbelievable. It's one of those things that you have to kind of take in and realize just how far this city has come, even in the last few years or so.
I know, absolutely. And we certainly will be down there giving you the best draft coverage in this city. Ratings don't lie. Numbers don't lie. It is our most anticipated show of the year. What we top out like 70,000 viewers last year. Like, it's insane, man. Yeah. We have more people watch Woodward Sports than we're in Ford Field for the draft party. So just kind of giving you a measure of how this works here. And we are going to be downtown again. The address 70 East Elizabeth Street. We'll be a part of it, co-hosted by Jars Cannabis, Chill Medicated, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown in downtown Detroit. So we will be in there. What, like, just to...
It's gonna be a day. It is
gonna be a day. You guys in your Utah hockey names: Nicholas Duncan, the Utah Neighborhood Watch, the Mike G, the Utah Decaffeinated Caucasians is kind of colorful. Robert Close, people talking about the Soakers as well. Some great names. Robert Close, a fun fact: Al Luganbill coached San Diego State, one of their best coaches ever. He recruited Marshall Faulk. Al Luganbill was the only college coach in the country that would let Marshall Faulk be a running back.
That is wild.
That was the correct.
All of them wanted him to be a safety and a defensive back.
I bet.
And I'll tell you what, if you want to, and I'm sure a lot of you know this already because we're all sports fans, if you want to look up some ridiculous college numbers, Marshall Faulk is on the short list of guys who they'll boggle your mind. Kind of like Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State. Marshall Faulk he doesn't get enough credit for being one of the best running backs ever, and he certainly is one of...
Darren McFadden's up there, too.
Darren McFadden was a monster in college. I thought that he was going to be one of the greatest ever, but unfortunately it didn't quite pan out that way. He still had a couple good years, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The Utah Neighborhood Watch, that one is a pretty funny one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. No, but I just, as Stick says, Neal clearly hasn't seen the sign on 94, we are ready. But do you guys feel that, though? Do you feel like we're ready to go?
Did you see the Warren sign?
Yes, the Warren sign's hilarious.
It's made of popsicle sticks or whatever.
That's my city, man.
Yeah.
Putting down. It's like literally...
I don't see much difference between the two
It's
signs.
like 3 blocks away from my house. Technically not my city, but it's adjacent.
Yeah. Patrick says, I'm not ready, but I stay bricked.
That's what it's all about.
KG, is the city ready for this, man?
I believe so. It's about as ready as you can get, but we'll be severely outnumbered by other teams, opposing fans coming to the city. So
you think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think so.
Either.
Yeah, I don't think that. I
think there will be more Lions fans than other fans.
When you get a second, Spenny, can you get a second? Can you chat pull that? Like, I am curious. Are you going downtown?
Yeah. There will definitely be more other cities fans than Lions
because
fans.
I would tell you this. If I weren't working, I think my move would be I would go downtown, but I'm not like going to the stage or anything like that. I would just hang out in a bar.
Yeah.
Right.
And just be among the masses.
Yeah. You're smart. It's going to get real crowded down there.
Runaway train, never look back.
So
because sometimes just being a part of an atmosphere where everybody's enjoying it, even if you're not actually there. Oh, look, Warren.
There it is.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's my city.
And it's up on a hill and everything.
It's
Look
right
at
off,
that.
Right off 696 in Hoover. Literally like 3 blocks from my house.
Better scenery than the Detroit side.
Yeah.
Come on, KG, come on.
I don't see much difference.
Hey, there's a Burger King, a KFC, and 2 gas stations on
right there,
corner.
right when you get off.
Yeah.
Every day I come home from Detroit City FC. Shout out Le Rouge. They won again this weekend. But yet when I drive home from Keyworth, I get off that exit there.
I used to walk to that 7-Eleven every day.
There you have that.
Detroit Donut in the corner too. Lacio's used to be in that corner. It's not there anymore. It was a good pizza spot.
Yeah, so I wanted to know that if like why KG when you say the city's ready, why? Based on what?
I just feel like we're ready for this event. I mean, they got everything set up downtown. I know it'll be a cluster. You know what? Once people start getting down,
which isn't and look, which isn't a problem. Don't act like you're going to roll out of your house at 7 o'clock and pull up at 7:40 and be at the stage by 8 o'clock.
Right. You got to make a day of it.
100%. Like if you don't get there in time, that's not on traffic. That's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you because you know what this story. Nothing stops you from going down there at 11 a.m. And grabbing lunch somewhere.
Yeah.
And then getting to wherever you got to go.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, just to kind of give you a taste of how seriously I take the potential crowd. I'm probably going to do the show on Thursday. Wake Up Woodward, shout out Broder, Kool-Aid, JB and KG and myself. I'm probably going to do that show, maybe do a couple other little things here, and maybe even find like a downtown coffee shop to do the rest of my work and just make sure that I can park and be in the city just because I don't want it to be to a point where I literally can't park anywhere and I'm not even able to. I mean, I'd obviously have to go to the party eventually, but just find the crappiest spot that costs the most money. It's going to be an experience unlike anything we've ever seen. Just given the fact that, and as like you guys have kind of mentioned, and I know Stick mentioned in the chat that he's not a super big fan of this. Of course, it's a Detroit party. 100,000%. It's for the city. But there are going to be fans of other teams. Maybe not as many, but it's going to exist, especially if you're a Bears fan or somebody like that, or even a Vikings or Packers, where it's not too far of a drive, or hell, even the Pittsburgh Steelers, which Pittsburgh to Detroit is not as far of a drive as some people might think. People are going to show up, so it's going to be huge.
People in the chat are saying just Uber, just Uber. Those Uber prices are going to be higher than you've ever seen in your entire life.
It would be if I were an Uber driver, because someone will pay it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Someone will pay it. WoodwardSports.com chat thread.
I'm just going to stay at my boy's house downtown.
There, see, you have the hookup right there. The Utah Homeowners Association.
The HOA.
It would be HOA Saturdays for the Utah Homeowners Association.
The HOA.
The alternate jerseys. HOA. HOA. HOA.
Dude, we should have got mopeds. Oh, man. That's a good point, Stick. A flight of like 8 Woodward Sports mopeds just rolling down Woodward.
Y'all don't want to see us on mopeds.
That would be awesome.
Detroit supremacy.
Moped at 12 o'clock.
Detroit supremacy. # Bulge Army. Neal, they fixed the fountain in Hart Plaza down there.
Oh, wow.
Can we confirm that?
I haven't been to Hart Plaza in a while.
Yeah. Good for them, though. Cleaned it up shit that should have been cleaned up.
Wyatt, the people are ready is the infrastructure. And guys, no one knows the shortcomings more than us, by the way.
Yeah.
That's always the question, though.
Here's my only. All right, before we get into the Lions and the draft and the football draft stuff, can I make a plea to the people?
Yeah, because I can tell you think they're not ready. Detroit's not ready. Why?
No, I'm just making a plea to the people.
Okay.
Like, when we complain about stuff, can it be something new? You know what I'm like? Sharpen up your complaint game. That's what I'm talking about to the people. Like, something new.
Elaborate.
Like, we know the roads are bad.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We know this, okay? Where there are stretches where the roads are. We know that, all right? That's a tired bit. Give me something new. And understand this, too, guys. Like, when you go to said establishment downtown, if there's a ton of people, guess what that means? It's going to take a minute for you guys to get your stuff.
Yeah.
All right? Stand down. Don't be the Utah Homeowners Association about everything. All right? Like, this is our moment for our city, man. I couldn't even 8 years ago, I could never imagine the draft being in Detroit.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm proud of this, man. Like, for real, I am.
Should be.
Don't be dicks down there. This is it. Don't be a dick downtown. All right?
Yeah. I don't think we will be.
The fact that you got to say, I don't think we will be. Just how about don't? Don't be a dick downtown, all right, everybody? Like, this is the biggest thing in sports, and it's happening here in Detroit. This is just like a PSA. Don't be a dick down there, please. I'm asking. Is that too much to ask, KG?
I don't think so. We behaved during the Super Bowl, didn't we? And
I thought we did.
That was years ago, so I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
Well said.
That's all all right. That was it. That's all I wanted to get to.
Boo Roger Goodell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now that, acceptable. That's a great bit. I give Roger Goodell credit, too, man. He's leaned into that.
Yeah.
Like, he's embraced
It's
the
not
heel.
even fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
When you take the toothpaste out of the tooth, that's like when we get criticism. And by the way, when the city gets criticized about stuff, because every media person in the world's going to be here, like, just let the air out of the balloon. We've been knowing this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, come on. Like, can we thicken up a little bit? Toughen up a little bit? Please. That's all I'm asking. And I'm asking you to watch our new morning show as well. Wake Up Woodward, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. right here live on the Woodward Sports Network. Kool-Aid, Flannel, Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning. Banter, live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network. Did you hear what I just said? Detroit's #1 sports network. How do I know? Take a look around at everybody else and what they're doing now. Kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that. That's all I'm saying. Woodward Sports.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
New Glorious Ice Water Bubble Hash Pre-Roll, now with diamonds. Constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flower with only the highest terps, making the best even better. Glorious Cannabis, check us out at your local retailer or gloriouscanna.com.
All right, keeping it pushing here. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC. NFL Draft Week. KG says the streets are ready. Spenmo says he's ready. Is the city ready for Spenmo?
Oh, yeah.
It's always a heavyweight fight when Spenmo's unleashed.
Oh, yeah.
In the city.
Grand Rapids was ready for Spenmo.
Yeah, how'd that go, by the way?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It's a great time.
How is Grand Rapids?
Oh, it was great. I had a great time. We were down there. We, went about the city. Went to Founders. Did a tour there. It was cool.
Have to.
Got my boy Eddie a tattoo. It was his bachelor party, so we got him a tattoo. He got the Rebel symbol from Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars fan.
Nice.
So he got the Rebel symbol.
Hey, dork. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The place we were at was super nice. It had a big theater and a bunch of arcade games in the basement. We were playing Mario Kart on the projector, and we watched Dune 2. Lisa Gaib. Yeah, and it had a hot tub in there. Piano. My friend was playing the Interstellar theme on the piano a lot. We were playing a lot of euchre.
I saw that on social media. Your boy can play the piano, huh?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, it was pretty electric.
And yeah, like I said, we played a lot of euchre, played a lot of Game of Thrones, Settlers of Catan, played Lord of the Rings Risk. It was fun. It was a good time. Drank a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
Bought a half
standard.
gallon of Don Julio and then had to buy another fifth.
That's standard. Absolutely standard. But yeah, so just ask the question if Detroit was ready. Tyler B, is the Detroit sign still safe? Is the Warren sign still safe? KG on good authority has guaranteed the Detroit sign safety through draft weekend.
Absolutely.
After that, he can't speak to it.
It is what it is.
And that was fine. I took that. Kyle says take the people mover in. That's going to be my play. I use the
still exist.
Yeah, I use people mover all the time, man.
Jesus.
Opening day, park over by where 5 Iron Golf is, over there on the other side of town.
Yeah.
Just roll on in on the people mover, man. It's free too.
It is. Just like the Q line. It's just a waste of time.
It is not. No, it comes in handy, man. I do. Aaron, what about the electric lime scooters? Y'all still got those in the D? We do.
They do.
I've used them before. But I was surprised. You guys surprised? 69% of the people say that they're not going downtown.
I told you. We're going to be outnumbered.
I thought that was laughable, and now I'm starting to lean more your way.
Because it's going to be a cluster, you know what, down there.
Well, how do they get there?
Listen, I understand, but a majority of people is probably going to opt to stay and just watch it at home.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike O, I would park at Greetown Casino, but I'm banned. Dang it. Okay, I don't want to. I want to hear that story, and I don't want to hear that
Also,
story.
the amount of people that are going to park at Greektown is going to be ridiculous because that's where everybody parks.
All the time.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I do. I want to see how this all plays out, though. I do. All right, let's get into the football stuff, man. Flannel, you brought up a good point. And, Steve-O, do you think the Lions fans will boo Roger Goodell? Yes.
Oh, of course.
The Dallas Cowboys stuff that goes down every time we play there? Yeah.
It's customary that he gets booed as soon as the draft starts.
Yeah, he leans into
But
it,
you should
man.
boo Brad Allen.
Yeah, that's
Or start a Brad Allen sucks chant. Fire Brad Allen.
Fire Brad Allen, absolutely. All right, Flannel, the draft stuff, Big Con 51, I'm going to be there. So I think that people will be rolling out. Chuck, don't forget a lot of the chat is too far away to show up. An 8-hour flight says that I'm out. Man, all right.
8 hours.
But anyway, all right, Flannel.
Spinny.
I've landed on this. Like, you want my pound on the table, what I want to see, what I won't say demand because I think Brad Holmes is above demands right now. Can we preface this, though, before I give you what I want? I just want to revisit Brad Holmes' first draft. Okay. His first draft.
Yep. Go ahead.
Panay Sewell, Levi Onwuzurike,
Yeah. It doesn't matter, though. Yeah.
Aleem McNeil,
Yeah.
Ife Melifonwu, NFL player, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Hall of Famer, Derek Barnes, NFL player, Jamar Jefferson out of the league.
Yeah. That's 5 starters if I'm counting right. 2 All Pros, a guy in Ife Melifonwu.
2 gold jackets. Say it right.
I mean, I think Panay is definitely more likely than Amon-Ra at that point, but certainly they're both on the trajectory. I mean, Ife Melifonwu played like an All-Pro the last part of the season. Aleem McNeil played like a Pro Bowler for much of the year, obviously except when he was hurt. So yeah, that's quite the draft. That's how you start the process from 3-13-1 to NFC Championship game in 3 years. That's a good launching off point, I would say.
His next draft, 2022, Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, Josh Paschal, Kirby Joseph, James Mitchell, Malcolm Rodriguez, James Houston, Chase Lucas.
Yeah.
That is a good second draft to up the rebuild even more. You got
Hutchinson's
absolutely
borderline Pro Bowler right
absolutely.
now. Yeah. Jamison Williams, an NFL player.
Absolutely.
I think he's shown he belongs in the NFL.
100%.
Josh Paschal, an NFL player.
Yeah.
He's an NFL player.
He's an NFL player.
When he's healthy. And he with some runway still.
Yeah.
We could say.
That's true.
Kirby Joseph.
Yeah.
Borderline Pro Bowler.
Starter.
James Mitchell. NFL player.
He is an NFL
very
player.
solid.
I mean,
has had
They're
moments.
probably about to give up on him, but yeah.
But even if he's not, I would debate James Mitchell being an NFL player. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Malcolm Rodriguez.
NFL player.
100%.
Really? You warmed up?
I was waiting on the flannel.
He's an NFL player, obviously.
Okay. James Houston.
100 tackle season.
James Houston has
Definitely
8 sacks
NFL
in 9 games in his career.
Yeah.
Definitely an NFL
He's
player.
an NFL player, all right.
Chase Lucas.
Not an NFL player, but that's okay.
7th round player.
Who cares?
And then obviously last year, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch.
About as good of a 4 out of first 48 as you could ever ask for.
Hendon Hooker.
We'll see.
Book is still out.
I said, if things go according to plan, he'll never play here. He'll never play a play here. If things go according to plan.
Yeah.
Broderick Martin, question mark. Colby Sorsdahl, potential. Moment seemed a little big for him when he got in games and stuff like that.
Season, so
it was his rookie season, and he's a 5th-round pick.
Right. We'll give him some slack.
Antoine Green.
Just
Could be an NFL player.
Could be.
We'll see. You would think this year would be where he makes his move and kind of defines what his future is.
Yeah.
Jury's still out. The moral of the story is this. Those drafts right there lead into my point. If you want me to say this is what I pound the table for, I would tell you insert your versatile offensive lineman here. Your JPJs. Whoever is there at that spot, wherever they kind of fit in, however the draft falls. That would be my preference. Because you look at the interior of the offensive line, certainly you look at Frank Ragnow. He seems to be year to year now, right? There's some questions. Yeah. He'll be back this year, but there's some questions. Taylor Decker is a $17 million a year guy right now.
And I don't see him in the future.
He's in the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You have the core of your team, which is this offensive line, which is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Certainly in a top 5. I think certainly within the top 3. My contention would be they are the best when healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can argue wherever. The rushing totals dictate that they are the best.
Exactly.
They had almost 2,000 rushing yards last year.
Top 3 without a doubt.
So there's that. I'm a kind of guy, I like to be dominant at something. And they are dominant. They are a dominant offensive line. Spenny, they push people this way and they push people that way.
Yeah, that way.
So Flannel, for me, that's where I stand. Okay. If you want me to pound the table, that's what I want. Some versatile style of offensive lineman that can fit in anywhere, because Penei Sewell is versatile. Yeah. Right tackle, left tackle, doesn't make a difference. He'll be great. He'll be a gold jacket wherever he is. I want to keep that line dominant for a decade.
That is certainly an option. And when I was talking about positions, not that I'm pounding the table for, but ways that I could see Brad Holmes going with, I would say, the first round and even later rounds. I would say the interior O-line angle, or even just the entire O-line angle, if you want to look at Taylor Decker as somebody you have to replace. That's the position where maybe they won't have to help you this year, but you're trying to keep your strength the strength, as a lot of people have said. Kevin Zeitler's on a one-year contract. We think he's going to be good this year, but he's on a one-year contract. Frank Ragnow, as we all know, he's on a year-to-year basis. He's a guy who's obviously slowing down a little bit due to injury. He probably only has a year or two left, and then Taylor Decker, of course. So, for example, if Jackson Powers, if JPJ is there at 29, I think you teleport you teleport and take him. Seriously. Mm-hmm. He's one of those must-pick guys, because when you look at versatile offensive linemen, 2023 he was exclusively a center. 2022 he was primarily a right guard. In both seasons did not allow one sack. Not one. So he's proven to be dominant at both center and guard. Obviously, he was a great run blocker as well. And then you look at later rounds, I would say Cooper Beebe is one who I would potentially pick. Yeah. As Spenny has talked about, as I've talked about. Another one, primarily a guard, but in 2021, he played primarily at left tackle. I'm not saying that he projects to that in the NFL or anything like that, but he's a versatile offensive lineman. Last 2 seasons, 892 pass block snaps, 2 sacks allowed total, 2 hits, obviously a great run blocker as well. So that's an angle. I would say if you're looking to potentially make your team better next year, something that could be an immediate need, I would probably go corner if you're going from that angle. Because, as we all know, with Cam Sutton, he's the only guy that was a starter last year from this defense. You can debate on how effective he was. I'm not here to do that right now. That is no longer going to be on the team, obviously because of certain circumstances. Or an important player from last year's defense that's no longer going to be on the team. And when you look at the corner position, there's injury concerns with Carlton Davis. There's concerns with whether or not Amik Robertson is an every game starter as an outside corner or even as a nickel. There's obviously injury concerns when it comes to Emmanuel Mosley, and Kindle Vildor is Kindle Vildor. So there's certainly some options at that area, whether 29 or 61. I would prefer Nate Wiggins or Kamari Lassiter personally because of their prowess in man coverage, but I'm not here to say who I would necessarily pick. And then, of course, you can look at the edge rushing position or the interior defensive line, which to me, they filled a lot of holes. DJ Reader, obviously, Marcus Davenport, James Houston's coming back from injury. That's all well and good. But for these particular positions, I look at that as, obviously, you can never have too many pass rushers. You can never have too many interior defensive linemen. But also, you could look at it as insurance for potential injuries, because DJ Reader's coming off a torn quad. The year before, he played 11 games. In 2020, he played 5. Marcus Davenport played 4 games last year. James Houston played 2, plus the playoff game against San Francisco. And Aleem McNeil missed 4 games. So and I'll give you an example of certain scenarios that could potentially play out. I would say at 29, I would be running to the podium to get Jackson Powers Johnson. However, if one of these guys falls to 29, I would also say probably pick him. Either Leatu Latu, Jershawn Newton, Byron Murphy, Dallas Turner, or Jared Verse. If one of those guys falls to 29, and let's just say for the purpose of this argument, Jackson Powers Johnson is not, I would run to the podium to go pick one of them. And of course, I really like Chop Robinson as a potential high upside guy, maybe in the late first round, or if you want to trade back. So I guess there's different scenarios. If you want to keep your strength the strength and keep the line moving, go offensive line. If you want to maybe upgrade a position as early as next year, go to corner. If you want more depth and potential insurance for injuries, go to interior defensive line or the edge position.
All right, let's do this, and let's take a break and come back and get a little bit deeper into it. Just as we get ready to go, because it is draft week. The draft is in Detroit. It's time to turn this up a couple of notches, everybody.
Absolutely.
You know, we've talked about the new Mr. Kennedy on the scene, Buddy Kennedy. But the Tigers are taking a back seat this week. We are getting into it. The draft party, everybody.
Absolutely.
Tell them about it.
April 25th and 26th, join the entire Woodward sports family as we broadcast the first 3 rounds of the NFL Draft. We will be downtown at the corner of Woodward and Adams at the 313 Draft Party presented by Figer Law. Jars, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown. 21 and over and free to everyone. Party starts at 2 p.m. on Thursday, and the live draft coverage begins at 8 p.m. We hope to see you downtown at the 313 Draft Party. Special thanks to Soroki's and Glorious. While the world watches Detroit, we will show you how Detroit parties at the 313 Draft Party.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. The world is about to have their eyes on Detroit, so we figure we show them how Detroit parties. Join us at the 313 Draft Party, presented by Flagger Law on Woodward and Adams in Detroit, April 25th and 26th. That's right, we're taking over the city with a live broadcast from the 313 Draft Party, sponsored by Jars, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown, covering the NFL Draft like only Woodward Sports can. Join the entire Woodward family when the first round begins at 8 p.m. This party is 21 plus, free to the public. It opens at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Come watch the live broadcast for rounds 1, 2, and 3 at the best draft party in the D. Ain't no party like a Detroit party, especially when you party with Woodward Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Sorokas, Glorious, and Figer Law. All we do is win.
Neal Ruhl here for Figer Law. Look, everybody, after an accident, people need to hire a lawyer more than any other time. This is real-world stuff, everybody. Legal stuff on the line right now after an auto accident. Just went through an auto accident myself a couple of weeks ago. Everything gets real quick. Figer Law, they're real, by the way. Make Figer Law your very first call. 1-800-A-WINNER. Their team of trial lawyers will get you the money you deserve. Figer Law, all we do is win. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, NFL Draft Week. NFL Draft in Detroit week. That's right, it is Thursday. Everybody calm down, act casual, act normal. Come on.
Act like you've been here
Act
before.
like you've been here before, everybody. But this is it. You know who we do got to get on? I got to give the Detroit Sports Commission their flowers, man.
Yeah.
I got to get Marty Dobeck on here, somebody on it. Because how does this work? Like, you're like, hey, we want to have the draft. Okay, cool. What do we do? I got to get Marty on, man. I'm getting him on this week, one of these days for sure.
Yeah, they've done a great job.
They deserve their flowers. Bro.
Last few years have been really good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, NCAA tournament here, regionals here, the drafts here. We got a Final Four coming to town.
Yep.
They pulled off a Super Bowl here in Detroit, man.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Detroit Sports Commission.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planting the flag for the Detroit Sports Commission,
They're
man.
working hard.
They are, no doubt. They're getting it done too, bottom line. But yeah, WoodwardSports.com. Jump into the chat there. Kevin Bell. Most GMs make 1, maybe 2 good picks in a draft. Some miss completely. Brad Holmes has almost hit every pick in every draft, which is almost impossible. And Kevin, great job of segueing on the show. And Spencer Raxter had it on here already. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't gonna let him play you like that, Spenmo. I wasn't gonna let him play you like that. IT Hips. They're gonna lose McNeal and Decker after this season. We'll see. Like this offseason is like the first one. Mm-hmm. This will be the first one. You know, I mean, we did kind of see it this year.
Yeah, but
with the offensive line.
Not to how it's going to be next year, though.
No doubt.
Real decisions got to get made next year.
No doubt. We saw some kind of financial casualties, did we not, on the offensive line?
Mm-hmm. Hey, and that turned out to, I believe, to be the right decision, getting Kevin Zeitler and Graham Glasgow combined for less than Jonah Jackson makes in like a AAV basis. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to turn out to be the right move.
No, absolutely. And that's where I think if they're true to what they do, I think you will see the Jackson Powers Johnson type thing. They will get Jonah Jackson, but reset the clock. A lot like Laporta was the Hawkinson with a new clock.
Yeah.
Like there seems to be a cadence, like a rhythm to this. But I guess here's my other PSA that I want out there. With Brad Holmes, I don't think this can continue. Like this hit rate, this is insane to flip a franchise like the Detroit Lions. This isn't just a regular franchise, everybody. And it's cool. We can talk about it because we lived through it and we finally came out on the other side, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be cool with what happened in free agency this year. We seem to be good with it. It's unrealistic to expect this kind of hit rate. Like, come on, everybody. He's going to miss one, I think.
Yeah.
I think, right? At one point, Flannel, right?
Yeah, oh, well,
We haven't seen it.
This is an interesting one because I could look at it from a couple of different angles. I think we would all agree that the NFC North is going to be better. Whether you want to say every team is going to be improved, I think that's up for debate, especially when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings. But even the Green Bay Packers, you've seen how Brian Gutekunst is a hell of a drafter himself. Not quite Brad Holmes level, but these teams are on the up and up. So I don't believe that Brad Holmes can have what I would consider to be a bad draft and for it to be just like excusable. But I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. That's just where I'm with that. However, I'm seeing what could potentially happen. And KG, you already know where I'm going with this because I mentioned it on Wake Up Woodward before.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions this season could have the draft similar to what the Kansas City Chiefs did the year before, where the only day one starter or real impact player in year one was Rashee Rice. And one of the reasons why was because, and we've mentioned it before, one of the ways that this dynasty with the Chiefs has been able to continue to be successful while losing guys like Tyreek Hill and Tyrann Mathieu, for example, is because their hit rate when it comes to draft picks has been off the charts. You had L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie at corner. You had Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, Leo Chenal at linebacker.
That was back-to-back drafts, right?
I believe so. It was Isaiah Pacheco at running back. It was Creed Humphrey. Guys like that, just George Karlaftis, just starter after starter after starter, and impact player after impact player, so that those guys are guys that you want starting on your team. And I'll use this example when it comes to the Lions. We're not trying to replace Aiden Hutchinson. We're not trying to replace Penei Sewell. We're not trying to replace our safety room. We're not trying to replace Laporta. We're not trying to replace Gibbs. And certainly with how this roster has been upgraded in free agency, you can argue that the Lions have their starting lineup right now. Obviously, barring injury, you could certainly make that argument. If you want to say not at corner, I'll listen, but I think if you went into this season with this starting lineup, we would all be like, that's a 12-13 win team. That's a division winning team. That's a team that can get to the Super Bowl. So I guess my point is that the Chiefs were kind of at that level themselves. They had a hole. They needed a number one receiver. They got Rashee Rice, although that might not age well because of off-field decisions. But hey, he helped them win a Super Bowl, so that's all well and good. The Lions might be in the same situation where they don't necessarily need to draft guys who are stars in year one. You just might draft guys who turn out to be depth pieces and maybe starters down the road. And I think we all understand that, but when you're building a team from nothing, you have to hit on starters. You have to hit on Hall of Famers. You have to hit on Pro Bowlers. You have to hit on
by the
All-Pros.
way, built it from sub-nothing.
Absolutely.
Below ground.
Yeah.
Built it from Jelani Tavai, Trey Flowers, Jamie Collins, cost you $19 million of your cap to not play. I want that out there. I always want that out there.
I'm glad that you mention it. But that's how you do it. You draft, as I mentioned, Pro Bowlers, All-Pros, starters, role players, and Brad Holmes certainly hit on a lot of those picks in droves. But right now, he's got basically his starting lineup, and a large percentage of them are guys that he drafted. So this year, if they don't draft like four starters in the first four starters, it's not that big of a deal because they don't necessarily need them right now. Hopefully he drafts guys that can play for this team down the road and continue to sort of replenish the talent as we have to lose some guys due to Brad Holmes' first round draft picks that weren't in the first round being on their last year, their rookie contract. But I know what you mean. This might be the draft where everything is kind of set, and you might just get one starter, and the Lions might win the Super Bowl anyway, just like the Kansas City Chiefs did. And I know the Kansas City Chiefs are a little bit different. Their starting off point was certainly at a different level than the Lions are right now, but that's why they're the preeminent dynasty in the NFL, and the Lions are an NFC championship team. They did that, even though where they were starting off from was nowhere near where the Chiefs started out from. So I know what you mean. It might not be the draft of last year, the year before, or the year before that, and that is more than okay.
So you make it sound like Mahomes has a pretty good supporting cast around him.
He does.
Interesting.
And
okay.
When an all-time great quarterback like that has a good supporting cast around them, he wins 3 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl MVPs. So, like, he's getting to the point where he's almost already achieved more than any quarterback except for Tom Brady. Obviously, having a strong supporting cast helps. But I see where you're going with this, but there's levels.
No, I was just asking the question.
He does, 100%. 100%.
And then, like, the Super Bowl where he didn't have his strong supporting cast.
Their whole offensive line was down, yeah.
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 He was running for his fucking life.
Literally the whole game.
It was uncomfortable to watch by the end.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah, I did too, man.
Dude was running for his life.
You got Devin White, like, just closing down on him every single time. Like, I was like, guys, all right, the point's proven.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's enough. God. I just look at it, man, and a tear comes down your eye last year. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch.
So wouldn't you say this draft, maybe if it's going by what Sam said, this plays more into Brad Holmes' strength? Because I don't want to say it's easy to pick the top tier talent or your first round picks, but he makes his money with the late round picks and picking players that you don't think will make an impact, but they do.
Absolutely.
The fact that you're able to find an all-pro wide receiver in the 4th round.
And
things
KG,
of that
that's
nature.
what's different. Like, make no mistake. Like, the Lions, the whole Stafford-era Lions and stuff like that, when they had top 5 picks, they generally drilled them.
Yeah.
Generally.
How do you not?
When you're taking Calvin.
Right.
Like, when you're taking Calvin, you're taking Ndamukong Suh. Matt Stafford was a hit. He certainly wasn't a Ryan Leaf.
Oh, absolutely not.
So they generally hit them. But that would always get them to a level, and that was it.
And they also had to pay all those guys, like,
which they didn't.
Actual money.
Yeah.
Well, and insane, even to walk in the door before, the
rookie maximums were a thing.
Before the league stalled out the players union there and said, that's enough of this foolishness. And, put rookie caps and rookie scale wages and all that kind of stuff. But that's a business decision for another day. But, it's just when you recreate that, and this is going to play in because I'm bringing a topic off board right out of the blue when we get back, because the numbers stick out to me here. And it's changed the game. Brad Holmes has changed the NFL draft, I think, to the point where people will emulate it. And now I think he's gonna take what he did and use it for a different purpose. I can't wait to explain this to you guys. I can't wait for it.
I get what you put down.
Because I think we're going to see a fundamental shift in what Brad Holmes does with draft picks.
Yeah.
Dos Burrito in the Woodward Sports chat says, Flannel listens to Creed. I don't know if you're saying that like it's supposed to be an insult, but I was banging Creed all weekend. You cannot say Creed doesn't hit.
And people can laugh at it all they want. But there was a time when they were into it.
Dude,
now,
Creed is great drunk music, man.
Did Scott Staff kind of lose it there? Yeah, he did. Was he kind of acting the fool there? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change. That's like the same people, like the Nickelback thing. You were banging it when it was out. Yeah. Yes, you were.
Yeah, but
those
Nickelback
people be
is
lying
Creed.
about Nickelback for sure.
I listened to Nickelback a lot when it was out for sure, but it's not Creed.
But you listen, but you can't clown that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you can just pull up and then all of a sudden you clown Creed and Nickelback. No, you can't, because you were a part of it. Somebody was. They sold millions of records, so somebody's lying.
We're playing a lot of Creed this weekend.
And you should be getting a lot of Swiss insurance,
yes,
too.
You should.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, that is an elite transition if I ever heard one. Neal Ruhl with the first pick in the 2024
This is not a hobby.
Draft. The Detroit picks Swiss Insurance Group. Everybody take a bow. Roger Goodell's going to be dapping it up with Swiss Insurance Group. Woodward Sports and Detroit's top pick for your insurance needs. Keep your current provider honest and price out Swiss today. Go to SwissINS.com or call Mark today at 313-530-1698. Again, that is 313-530-1698, Swiss Insurance.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to chicken sandwiches, everybody, I have the #1 overall pick. It's the Shake Shack Chicken Shack Sandwich. And guess what? It's been extended. You can try the Chicken Shack Sandwich for free due to popular demand. A $10 purchase, maybe order you up a shake and a crispy crinkle fry. Use a promo code Woodward, and guess what? Boom, your Chicken Shack will be free. Use a promo code Woodward in person, online. Download the Shake Shack app today as well. The promo is available in all 7 Metro Detroit locations, and it ends May 1st. Extend it to May 1st. Get that free Chicken Shack sandwich with a $10 purchase. Shake Shack, the Chicken Shack. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy talking NFL draft. Get in, everybody. It is NFL draft week here in Detroit. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel, KG, Spencer Raxter here with you. Jump into that Woodward Sports chat. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast. We have the draft covered. We'll be live downtown, and we'll be doing it. It's our most popular show by far. Every single year, the NFL draft show. Tens of thousands of you. Check that out. Yeah, it makes sense. We're Detroit's #1 sports network. I stand on business with that. WoodwardSports.com. Chat. Get into there. Cornelius T. As a black man, I ride with Creed. KG, the streets' response to that.
I'll take his word for it.
Do the streets mess with Creed or no?
I mean, I'm not a big Creed listener, but if he's saying that, then I'll take his word.
I'm telling you, pound a couple beers, throw on some Creed. Yeah. Christian rock for a reason. It's a religious experience.
I mean, they're not like, it's not Linkin Park or nobody, but you know.
Linkin Park's another one.
Yeah, Linkin Park stamped in the hood. I know that.
Anthony Patterson says, with arms wide open.
With arms wide open.
Wendy Espinoza, Creed's awesome. Good to see the overall. There are still there's some detractors, but over.
Wendy Espinoza says Hinder is dope. Oh, Hinder.
I was a big Bush guy there for that, that whole stretch as well.
Lips of an Angel. You give me Hammer, and
oh my God,
I'll sing that all night.
Absolutely.
Sounds so sweet, coming from the lips of an angel, and those words, it makes me weak.
Just a fan. Flannel Sam, keep standing on your business. Even if I disagree, I love your grit.
Thank you, Just a fan.
Flannel Sam stands on business more than anybody I've ever met.
Mike G wants to know, is Creed the white version of Earth, Wind, and Fire? Now, I have to get off the highway before that one, Mike G. It's in that family, though. Yeah. It's a distant cousin that you never met.
Who's the band that does Paralyzer? You remember that song?
Finger 11.
That's a good song.
Finger 11.
I'm no paralyzer. I seem to be struck by you.
I want to make you move because you're standing still.
Okay, all right. That's enough.
Okay.
Be on my way to you.
It's a banger.
Let me know when we're done, everybody. Right, NFL Draft Week here in Detroit. I got Karaoke Creed going on by Spenmo Rax.
Yeah. Hey, I'd do Creed for sure.
Oh man, I like it. No, it is. It's pretty good though. We all absolutely like it. But yeah,
Creed's got a concert coming up in Detroit this year.
Where they at?
I think it's at DTE.
Is it really?
Yeah. I'm trying to go.
AKA Pine Knob.
Telling you.
Robert Colossia, Stone Temple Pilots. There is that. Okay, I'm getting back on on track here. All right. The thing that I noticed, I think Brad Holmes changed the draft game. And look, like it's changed. You're going to say, oh, no, people have done this for a long time. I think he's brought it to the forefront where when you see teams doing reboots now, it is about the acquisition of draft capital. Because you look at the Lions every single draft, his very first draft, their first, a second, 2 thirds, 2 fourths. The next draft, 2 first, a second, a third, 2 sixth. Last year's draft, 2 first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. You see what I'm saying? And that is what, and looking back on it, last year's draft is what put this organization, quote, over the top.
Yeah.
It put them over the top and put them in Super Bowl striking range. And this is my concern with the division. We touched on this a little bit in the nickel packages. But you're seeing a conscious effort. Minnesota, 2 first-round picks. Chicago, 2 picks in the top 10. The Green Bay Packers. The Aaron Rodgers trade now will start to bear fruit. I believe they have multiple second-rounders this year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you look at what teams are doing now. They are rebooting quickly, kind of like what the Lions did. Did Brad Holmes change the game?
Well, it's more glaring when Brad Holmes was able to do it on the Detroit Lions because obviously they were, prior to Brad Holmes' arrival, arguably the worst franchise in American team sports. I would probably say that they were. But the fact that Brad Holmes has been able to do it so quickly, primarily through draft capital and drafting great players, it certainly does make you raise your eyebrow a little bit. Like, if they could do it with the Lions, which seems like in a lot of ways, even though we all kind of felt like, why don't they just draft better players? It seems like a damn miracle. So I think you're looking at it from the standpoint of if it works for the Lions, it can certainly work for us. And as you said before, the Bears, 2 top 10 picks. And top 10 picks hit at a higher rate than not top 10 picks. And same with the Minnesota Vikings, having 2 of the top 23. First-round draft picks hit at a higher rate than non-first-round draft picks. And then you look at the Green Bay Packers. I believe they have 5 in the top 90 or 91 or something like that. They've got quite a bit of draft capital. Just like Brad Holmes, Brian Gutekunst is proven as a guy who can get players in later rounds. So absolutely, there's certainly a blueprint that's being followed right now. I'm not certain if it was just Brad Holmes who kind of invented it all. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. However, the fact that he was able to do it with the Detroit Lions, a place that so many GMs have came and went, so many GMs that some of us were excited about that have done terrible jobs and drafted guys that don't even get second contracts. The fact that Brad Holmes was able to do it on the Lions, the team that's not supposed to be doing this and not supposed to be here, that really raises that raises your eyebrows up, as opposed to if it were, say, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do it on the Lions, it hits differently, man. It just does. We all know. We experienced the lean years.
Right, and that's where, kind of what you talked about, where he brought it to the forefront of changing the face of the Lions through the draft.
Yeah.
And did it quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Quick, man. Like, it's being emulated.
Yeah.
It is. Like, look, your own division in particular. Like, we were kind of laughing about this, Lions. Take it back, 18 months ago?
Yeah.
We were kind of laughing because we saw what was being built here and said, okay, like the Lions are going to be in shape to really grab a hold of this division and own it for a very, very long time. That sentiment's changing. And why is that sentiment changing?
Well, it's for a myriad of reasons, but certainly the draft capital that all of those teams have, along with the moves that they've made. Obviously, the Bears made a lot of good free agency moves, and the Packers more than anybody, the players that they've drafted in the last couple of drafts, particularly at the wide receiver, tight end, and offensive line position, that's huge. Jordan Love, of course, and then even the Vikings, they had a pretty good free agency, at least on paper. They've drafted guys like Jordan Addison and, a Caleb Evans, Mekhi Blackman, Christian Darrisaw, all of that. So, yeah, you see a lot of these other teams, and obviously I mentioned some free agency acquisitions that other teams have made, particularly the Chicago Bears. A lot of those drafted guys are guys who play and guys who contribute as well. So, yeah, it's not the cakewalk that we all thought maybe it would be for the Lions for the next couple of years. And I think that all started with the Packers making the playoffs after starting the year so slow. It really is an eye-opener when that happens.
No, absolutely. Absolutely it is. When we come back, I want I want everyone's opinion. What do you think the path is going forward for Brad Holmes? I'll kind of give you my theory, and then I kind of want you guys to take a spin off of it and see where you think that it's going to be. And I'm talking like not just the draft plan, like not just this draft plan. I think he is going to use this draft to supplement his plan going forward. I think it'll excite Spencer Raxter.
Ooh.
I really do. I think he'll have to alter his britches a little bit.
Oh.
I had a Tigers question for you, too, but that we'll get to that one later.
Get that later.
Yeah, we can get to it later. I do. Robert Colosia, Bears and Vikings currently do not have an effing QB on the roster, while the Packers only have a QB and no roster. Stop. We are going to keep rolling this division, you naysayers. So there's that one out there as well.
Colosia, that's kind of some behavior that I didn't like from some Lions fans. The whole only good players play for the Lions.
North could be the toughest division.
If you
in
think that the
football
Packers have no roster, you're out of your damn mind.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Robert Colosia, you're a valued member, even though I like about 20% of what you say. And this falls into 80%. Come on now. They made the fucking playoffs, bro.
Yeah, the Packers have a really good team.
Bums. Just a team that made the playoffs.
And won a game on the road.
Fair.
Them winning that game opened my eyes, dude. It did. Rich Baldwin, Steelers Nation here. I hate the Ravens. Roll call. There, people in town. Here we go. All right, Sam Flannel. Tell them about Guardian Alarm.
Guardian Alarm. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
The BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake.
Hey.
Feiger Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
Neal Ruhl here for Feldman Automotive. You guys know the game. They have 18 Feldman Automotive locations in and around Metro Detroit. So you know there's one close to you. And guess what? All different brands are represented as well. Of course, the linchpin of it all is Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. They are Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. But remember, whatever kind of car you're looking for, Feldman Automotive has you covered. They have the very best buying process in the game, the Feldman Advantage. Sam Flannel did it. He can tell you, you get it, you get it, you get it. You get it done. That's it. That's what happens when you buy a car with Feldman Automotive. And don't sleep on their service department either. Had to get some work done on my car. Most incredible experience I've ever dealt with in the automotive industry in my life. They handled it. I got my rental inside of 10 minutes. It was unbelievable. I still don't believe it, as a matter of fact. Whatever you need, whatever your car needs, Feldman Automotive. Go to feldmanauto.com. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, NFL Draft Week. Neal Ruhl, Sam Flannel, KG, Spencer Raxter, all of you. Happy to have you with us. LFG, Neal, Indiana, UCLA each have already constructed high-quality basketball rosters for Big Ten hoops play. Incredible. UCLA likely has the best top 9 player rotation in the Big Ten regular season. Yeah, we got to get ready for that for football.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's happening.
It is.
It's happening, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So get ready for that in football and certainly
12-teamer.
in basketball. It's just going to go on and on, everybody. Yep. It's going to go on and on. But we're talking NFL draft right now. Man, I had this one here and I lost it. My apologies for not being able to attribute this one. Rich Baldwin says, I'm part of Steelers Nation Michigan chapter. Well, that's kind of dorky then. Sorry. I celebrated it, and then obviously we had to take it back. Gromit 0237, trading up in the draft is like having sex. You need a willing partner, and you don't want to pay too much.
Well,
He's not lying.
I suppose.
Checks all the boxes.
No lies detected.
No lies detected. All right, here's the deal. Here's what I think the plan is going forward. And this is just one dude's opinion, all right? Just a guy that kind of looks at financials. Like I told you guys to be prepared. The Red Wings will not make a move at the goalie spot next year. They won't. They just won't. The books dictate that won't happen unless it's some kind of blockbuster trade, which I don't see him being a part of. Mm-hmm. There are guys in the system, and he's on his way. And that's the hill they're going to stand on. So with Brad Holmes and what the Lions are doing, here's what I think. I think there could be some disappointed people. I think you could see the Detroit Lions trade down. There is not an overriding need. Flannel, you say you could add to your corner room or whatever. Because here's the deal. A corner at 27 or 29 or 30, it's not one of the premium corners.
Right.
It's not going to be one of the ones that you expect to come in and contribute from day one. There are no Sauce Gardners at 30 or 29. There just aren't. I think what you're going to see Brad Holmes do is I think that he will move out of that pick. I think he will accumulate draft capital, and I think he will flip said capital at the trade deadline. I think you're going to see the NFL trade deadline take on a whole new meaning now. Like we saw this last year was like, we saw it a little with Christian McCaffrey, obviously, before.
Yeah.
But I think we're to the point now where the NFL trade deadline is going to take on that baseball feel, that hockey feel to it, where it's become a day of the season. and I think that Brad Holmes, because here's another way to kind of see what they're going to do financially. I think you will see them, and this is why I think Goff's extension has not been announced or been signed or anything like that. They want to see where they're at June 1st. They want to see what transpires. They want to see who becomes available. I think you'll see Brad Holmes acquire draft capital and flip said capital at the draft deadline, or excuse me, at the trade deadline for the NFL. And that will make Spencer Raxter happy because no one loves a transaction like old Spencer Raxter.
That's fair.
He loves it.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to take him. You're going to see Brad Holmes take an even deeper view and use the draft to help the trade deadline. Because if they are, quote, one piece away, he's got the ammo to go get it, and it doesn't cost him anything.
All right, so basically what you're saying is he's going to make some trades, like trade back from 29,
yes,
and then get some future draft capital.
You know how you get your third, you get your fourth or whatever.
Yeah.
So when what did Christian McCaffrey go for?
Yeah, it was,
like a second, a third, and a fourth, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to that end, but like a Chase Young going for a third or whatever.
Right.
When you have an extra one, you can just flip it with it and make your deal.
Well, and we all know that when it comes to the NFL, and I'm not even talking so much off-season, but hey, it could be off-season. Who knows? Hopefully not. You have to take into account injuries and a player that you might need to use an extra draft pick or some extra draft capital to go get. In this scenario as well, though, are they going to be making a pick in this draft that they trade out of at 29? Are they going to trade back into the second round this year and make a pick and get extra capital for the future? Or I mean, I guess that doesn't really matter to the point of what you're saying.
Right. It's something that I think, and again, I'm just kind of cooking this up on the fly, just kind of my feel of how I think this is going to go. Yeah. Because the next step, right? So you're sustained, you're built to last, and that's where the Lions are right now. We like the talent core, so now it's who's going to put you over the top. Mm-hmm. And are you in a position where you can do it risk-free, quote-unquote risk-free, and while at the same time just kind of keeping where you are in the pantheon of the self-sustaining ecosystem that is the NFL draft. The crops. The draft is where he plants the crops, and then he harvests them at different days depending on what kind of crop it is.
Sure, and as I've mentioned before, this roster, it certainly is a good one, and it has, I would say, the starters almost intact, which would allow you to do something like this. But as I mentioned before, and I'll touch on it briefly again, there's some injury concern along the defensive line and the edge rushers. There's some injury concern when it comes to the secondary, and when it comes to even the wide receivers, which we haven't talked about yet today, but I'll just mention it briefly. You did lose the guy who's been your second best wide receiver over the last 3 years. I'm not saying that it's the biggest deal in the world. It wouldn't shock me at all if Donovan Peoples-Jones regains form. Hopefully Jamison Williams is able to play a game in September and play an entire season, and hopefully he improves as well. But there's some scenarios where you can look at it as we lost a guy. Maybe some guys aren't performing the way that we would like. Maybe Marcus Davenport's a miss, which isn't outside the realm of possibility. But we have some ammo to make a move to make our team even better. Like you said, like the Bears were able to do with Montez Sweat, or the 49ers were able to do with Chase Young. Maybe the Lions are in on these sweepstakes this year. Maybe this is the year where they make the splash.
Do you?
Let's go ahead, KG.
Nas, do you think he's a trade deadline guy? Because we don't have a lot of examples of that. The only example we have is that they traded for DPJ. It was rumored by the 33rd team, Ari Mayroff, that they did try to go after the Neal Hunter last season. It didn't work. And if you want to count, I guess TJ Hockenson is a deadline deal.
I think he is for his cost and his price. You know what I'm saying? I think he's interested.
Yeah.
But there's a line. There's a line of value that he won't cross. And I think, because here's how I would approach it. When I make that case to you for what I just said, I think happening, where you move your first, you take someone's early second or whatever, say you move back, I don't know, 18 spots. I don't know what the number is, what team that is. Like, don't get granular on this, everybody. Like, stay here with me, all right? You move back 18 spots for a future third and a future fifth, all right? Future, not this draft.
Yeah.
Future.
I got you.
Those are the assets that come into play, and I think he's more apt to be involved in said trade line discussions, to where now if you're talking a third, and I have the Minnesota Vikings third next year with my own, it's something where I essentially move back 15 spots to get this player at the deadline.
True.
And that was the move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a creative way to think of it, but in reality, when you wash it out, that's what it is. What do you think the plan is, KG?
We don't know who or what that player is, though, until the season gets going.
And that's what I'm saying. You never know how things are going to shake out. So, again, I think that's why you haven't seen and heard a lot of discussion about the Goff contract thing, other than what Jared Goff, who basically kind of told you. Like, the sense I got from Goff was, like, this is a done deal, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. Sure.
But I think that they're kind of laying out to see what shakes out on June 1st. If nothing happens, then they'll alter the structure of it a little bit, I think, and, use some of that cap space they have to remove some of the heavy lifting from the contract up front. But that's granular. We're getting in the weeds, and that's boring, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think he's going to stick to more of the draft your talent. He told us. I mean, he's shown us every step of the way that he sticks to what he says. He said that he uses free agency for needs and he drafts talent. And that would lead me to believe that they're going to continue to build this thing through the draft. So him maybe acquiring the draft capital, I can definitely see that. Spending it on the trade market, that I don't know, especially during the season. He hasn't shown us many examples of that to this point. I think he just sticks to drafting and then being opportunistic in the free agent market.
What do you got, Spemma? How do you see this shaking out?
I don't think they trade out of the first round, honestly. I think they trade up if they're going to trade at all. I think they're a piece away. I think they're one impact player away. And some of those impact players are going to be falling, whether it's a Jared Verse, whether it's a Kool-Aid McKinstry. They met with guys like Terrion Arnold and Brian Thomas Jr., who are players that you're going to have to trade up for if you want to get. So I don't think them just throwing those meetings away by meeting with two guys that aren't going to be there at 29 is just nothing. I think if one of their guys falls to anywhere from 17 to 20, I could see them moving up to grab a guy. Shout out to Greg Aspall.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Wow.
Jumping into the Woodward crew.
We give him a siren for that, man.
Thank you.
I love that siren, by the way.
It's epic.
I absolutely do like it.
But to your point, Neal, if it ain't broke, why would you fix it? He's made a living off doing this through the draft. Why would you change that at this point?
Well, I'm not changing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sliding back 15 spots.
And I want Ryan Ermanni to continue to work here. So I don't want him to trade back.
His job is on the line.
I like Ryan.
Well, speaking of that, I just saw there's been some line movement. J.J. McCarthy went from 14-1 to 8-1 to be the second pick.
I saw that. I did see that.
If this actually happens,
no freaking
no,
way.
no. I mean, and not even second, because Ryan Ermanni was steadfast on number 1. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But if somehow it does,
that would be the most shocking switch up at the draft I think we've ever seen.
Honestly, that would be awesome. I would love for that to happen because fuck the Bears. So if they make that decision, I would be really happy.
That's
like DeMario Davis levels, even worse though. Yeah.
This week we're doing a segment. I should do it. I should probably do it while you're here, Flannel. We should do the J.J. McCarthy segment.
All right. The what if segment?
Just the J.J. McCarthy segment.
Oh.
I think we should.
Just breaking him down? What you mean?
Like, because this is getting crazy right now.
We can do it next.
Fair. You saw. Yep. Don't go anywhere, everybody.
It's about to be electric. But if you're going somewhere, make sure you go to Premier Pet Supply to get supplies for your pets. Premier Pet Supply, hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the convenience of the online and big box retailers. With one major difference, they're family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, keeping it pushing, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Flannel Sam in for D-Mac. D-Mac will be back with us, though, tomorrow for the rest of the week. We have KG. We have Spencer Raxter. We have all of you in the Woodward Sports chat as well. Strong showing from you guys today also. And you can tell by the numbers. People are ramping up for NFL Draft Week. It's here, and it's on our doorstep, everybody, right here in Detroit as well. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike O. Neal has an MBA, I bet. I do not. I was never interested in that. I don't do, you guys will laugh at this. Once I got into algebra, I quickly exited off the math highway.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I can do addition and subtraction very, very easily, which is all NFL financials and salary caps are. Yeah. I can do that very easily. I excelled at that. Mm-hmm. It's really wild, my whole math run. Yeah. I was in math competitions, as a little kid and stuff like that. And then once it shifted to algebra, man, I was like, are you asking a question here? Yeah. Why are there letters?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Once they introduce letters into the damn math, I'm cooked. I'm out.
Yeah, I didn't get into it, man. I didn't like it,
Can't do it
at all. But no, the numbers thing, though, that's very easy to understand. There's websites that have it all laid out for you, and you can look at it and kind of figure things out if you notice the patterns. But yeah, that is it. All right, I do want to talk about this. I just saw this. There's updated odds. J.J. McCarthy is now plus 800. Was plus 1,400, which means 14-1. Has moved up to 8-1 to be the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. Flannel, I'm sorry. I don't get that. I don't understand that. How? And I know he won games, and Michigan is the net. And guys, calm down. Michigan is the national champion. No matter what happens, no matter what a court says, Michigan is the national champions. I watched them get the trophy.
They got nothing, by the way.
Well, they got show causes to the coaching staff, so they got something.
Nothing.
Okay, but anyway, but I don't care. But I do represent facts. Like, that is a fact, right? I don't understand this at all, Flannel. Can you enlighten me?
Well, if your thought process is you like J.J. McCarthy, I guess I can give you some reasons. I would say, one, he's a high upside player. He's got a rocket arm. He's very mobile.
Rocket's aggressive.
I think
nah, he can.
That's aggressive.
He can gun it. It's his accuracy that's a problem.
He's got so much of a cannon that sometimes it works against him.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll fire in these like 5-yard slants, and it's like, what are you doing? Or he'll overthrow guys, and that has happened before. I'm not going to run away from that. He has a rocket arm. He's got, I would say, when he can, in terms of scrambling ability, elite mobility. He's more accurate than you think. It's not like he was Anthony Richardson or Josh Allen. And I'm not comparing to them as prospects, but the problems with guys like Anthony Richardson and Josh Allen was they were not like efficient passers. J.J. McCarthy wasn't asked to do as much as, say, a Jaden Daniels or a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, but he was very efficient. He throws good on the run. He's very good in third and long, which is huge in the NFL. He can make those plays with his legs and with his arm. And I think,
but can he make NFL plays with his legs? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's like a 4-5 guy. He can make NFL plays with his legs.
Yeah.
He's going to outrun some defensive backs. He just wasn't asked to do it as much because he didn't have to, because Blake Corum took care of most of the running. And J.J. McCarthy, the problem with him in college is that if he ran too much, he would risk getting hit too much, which he did have a little bit of a slender build in college, although he did bulk up going up to the combine, which was an underrated, huge move by him. I think that won him some money. And also, and I know people accuse me of not looking at this at all or not caring about this, I got to include the fact that for all accounts, because he is a quarterback and it does matter to some extent, although not as much as talent to me, he does seem like a high character guy. Him and the entire coaching staff and everything, they did keep that locker room together. They kind of galvanized the team, created this us against the world mentality, which wasn't necessarily unfounded, but they used it to their advantage. They didn't crumble. They didn't start losing games. They didn't look at the outside noise and just crumble again. I was hoping to use a different word, but crumble. They rose. They thrived. They won the national championship. So I guess for all of those reasons, when you look at potential, when you look at what he actually does well, and when you look at the fact that I do believe he's that NFL level potential intangible leadership guy from the quarterback position.
Moment don't seem too big for him.
I don't necessarily think that it's the craziest thing in the world that he can go number 2 overall. There's no Andrew Lucks. There's no Peyton Mannings. There's no John Elways in this draft. I mean, you don't think Caleb Williams is any good. So you've said it. You've said it.
I was told.
Yeah, I have my questions.
100%.
Yeah, I have my questions based on what I've seen. But I also think that Jaden Daniels will be the best player in this NFL draft.
You can say that. It's
the best player. Like the best pro.
That's your hill, and I don't even necessarily blame you for it. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, had a hell of a year, is a hell of a prospect in his own right.
The Michigan fans are being pretty reasonable about this in the chat right now. Chuck Brewer, he's not Justin Fields, but he can make plays with his feet. DNCENT, nobody. Joe Milton has a rocket. JJ's arm is mid, and his ball placement is questionable at times, and I'm a Michigan fan.
Well, that's just...
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, Joe Milton has a rocket.
Well, but
like a literal rocket.
What has that gotten him? A 5th-round pick in the NFL draft. That's what it's going to get him.
No, I'm saying, though, but those are the comps.
He has more than a rocket. Joe Milton's got a nuclear missile on his arm.
Does,
he can throw it 80 yards flat-footed. Like, that's more than a rocket.
Well, that's...
JJ's got a rocket arm.
And that's the thing. Joe Milton, I'm not even kidding when I say this. He might have one of the strongest arms we've ever seen on an NFL quarterback.
Exactly.
Like, just out of this world, outer space level arm.
What does that do with placement, though?
And that's the thing. My point is that both things can be true. J.J. McCarthy doesn't have nearly the arm that Joe Milton did, or does. But J.J. McCarthy's an infinitely better quarterback, and he still has a rocket arm. He can make NFL throws. We saw it almost every game, even though we always talk about how he didn't have to throw as much as some. That throw to Roman Wilson against Ohio State, in that big of a window, that was a rocket arm kind of throw. That throw rolling to his right against Nebraska and hit Roman Wilson in stride, that was a rocket arm kind of throw, just to name a few.
Right, but then Flannel, for every one of those, I have a TCU game. I have a Bowling Green game. Yes, I do, Flannel, like it happened.
That is actually one of the most lunacy things you've ever said.
Uh-oh.
That's one of the most lunatic things
Did I
you've
not
ever
watch
said.
him throw 2 pick sixes?
Don't do it.
In a college football playoff game? Did I not see that?
He has had 2 games with multiple interceptions his entire career. 2. Bowling Green was bad. TCU, that was bad. Although I give him credit for helping them make up for that, but he certainly did.
Okay.
Hey, but you can't say shit about that now because the following year they actually went back.
No, we're
and
not
won it.
talking about Michigan.
I understand.
See, you guys, you got to get out of this, and I knew you were going to do this. We're not talking about Michigan. We're talking about J.J. McCarthy now. That's what we're talking
Mr.
about.
Turnover
It's the NFL
Pro.
draft.
He had like 9 interceptions his entire career. You act like he's an interception machine. That's a joke. You know who was an interception machine? Kyle McCord in that game against Michigan. You know who was an interception machine?
We're not talking about Ohio State. We're talking about J.J. McCarthy in the NFL draft. I watched it happen, Flannel.
So what?
I watched the games. And for everything that you celebrate, big throws against Nebraska, then you can't discount when he throws 3 picks against Bowling Green and throws for $143. What's the problem there? What's the problem in that game, Flannel, that could translate to the NFL? Because we're talking NFL draft. This isn't an attack on Michigan. I watched him get the trophy. What's the problem in that game that could translate to the NFL?
I would say that it's a blip of a game because that's what history will show when it comes to J.J. McCarthy. He threw interceptions in 2 games this year. He threw 3 against Bowling Green and 1 against Maryland. So if you're going to talk about that game against Bowling Green, you got to talk about the East Carolina game, the UNLV game, the Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota,
you're
Indiana,
not talking
Michigan
about
State,
that
Purdue.
game.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa, Alabama, Washington in the college football playoff.
We lost.
Right.
If you think J.J. McCarthy is a turnover-prone player or quarterback, you're just gobbling narratives. You're gobbling narratives.
Gobbling narratives? Like when the pass hits the defender in the chest and he drops it? Like the Alabama game? Did that not happen?
He was out of bounds and came back in. He didn't drop it. But still, it doesn't count. We can't talk about what is. We can't talk about what should have been.
So you can say in big moments he's not prone to a bad throw. We can't say that.
He's made a couple bad throws, but he's also made some very good throws as well. The good has far outweighed the bad.
Big facts.
Okay, I understand that, but we're talking about him in the NFL right now. I know that in your Michigan world, you erased that from your memory and it never happened, but these are the questions, Sam Flannel. My question is, how can this guy, who we have these sample sizes of, right? Where we've seen it in big moments. We've seen the TCU game was a huge moment.
Yes.
He threw 2 pick sixes.
He did.
Can't do that.
I know.
Can't do it.
I know.
So my question is, why does that just go overlooked and no one wants to take a look at and analyze why did that happen?
If I had to give a reason, here, I'll actually give a reason that maybe we can break bread on. We can. Because it was the previous season. That was his first season as a starter. And I'm not saying it excuses that performance or anything like that, but if you want to do a good job to erase that, if you want to sort of shed some of the demons of being turnover prone, which I think was overblown in the first place, but if you do it on the biggest stage, I can't even kill you for that. To come back and have a turnover-free college football playoff, for example. And I don't want to talk about that pick that wasn't. It didn't count. It's been erased to history. We can talk about a 4 interception season. And yeah, if you want to talk about Bowling Green, that was a blip. Every quarterback in the history of mankind has had a bad game. It was a terrible game, obviously, but it was only one of 2 games in which he even had a pick last year. 1 of 2. He had 1 the rest of the year. To me, that's evidence that it was a blip and not evidence that it's a trend, that it never happened again.
Andrew Schmidt, to be fair, Neal, there won't be many Bowling Green defenders in the NFL for McCarthy to worry about. But Andrew Schmidt, see, like this... But this is where it comes full circle with the draft, right? But there's a lot of Quinion Mitchell film of him defending Bowling Green. You know what I'm saying? And catching picks off Rocky Lombardi.
Hey.
I mean, you can't pick the schedule, but I get it.
But you see what I'm saying,
Rocky
though?
Lombardi, Michigan State legend.
Shout out.
So you think JJ is a turnover machine? Is that what?
No,
you're
I don't think he's a turnover machine. I'm saying I have questions about him because they weren't answered. You know what I'm saying? Where he never had to take over a game. He was never asked to. I understand that. But at the same time, where you look at Jaden Daniels, did he ever have the water shut off and have to figure out another way? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That's my question. And you can highlight a segment of a game or a segment of a play, and I can say fair. That's fair.
But if JJ wasn't asked to do that, is that his fault? Because the style of offense.
But then I would respond and say, is he capable of it? And you can't give me an answer.
I can give you an answer.
No, you can't give me an answer on that. Because what game did he have to sit back? Because in the NFL, guess what? Some days you got to spin it 45 times in a game to win.
100%.
You have to.
100%.
We've never seen that he's capable of that. Never.
We also saw that he's capable of leading a game-tying drive against Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Yeah. If you want to say that that's a pretty good evidence of J.J. McCarthy, I'll say that. I understand that the throws weren't always the most difficult thing in the world, but that did happen. That was
You do understand
a
that.
big moment.
In the NFL, you will have to make difficult
100%.
throws at time, and they do have to be accurate.
He's made difficult throws.
Yeah, he can make the throws. He has to get better with consistency, but he can make the throws. All the tools are there.
And if you aren't consistent in this league, what happens to you?
You'll get ate up, which is understandable, which is something he does.
Which is my question. To be the number 2 overall pick, there has to be something dynamic.
The arm mobility,
Legs,
I think, is dynamic. I will die on that hill. That's
so,
dynamic.
Okay, so you would say that you would take him over Jaden Daniels then? Come on, Flannel.
That's not an insane thing to say.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
not. That
not.
is an insane thing to say.
The best thing is we gonna see. You think Caleb Williams is terrible. I think that's an insane thing to say, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Oh, and by the way, Jaden Daniels was the second best player on the field to Jackson Dart when they lost to Ole Miss. He was the second best quarterback on the field to Jordan Travis and Jalen Milroe as well. Are those Jaden Daniels losses?
When he ran for 200 yards against Alabama?
When Caleb Williams put up 42 against Washington.
When he ran for 200 yards at Alabama.
And led him to 28 points. Again, I don't think that that's the case. I don't think those are Jaden Daniels losses, and I don't think most of the USC ones were Caleb Williams losses either. I'm consistent. I'm just going by your logic. That Jaden Daniels, I guess, is a college loser too. Lost 3 games. Wow. How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you ever do that in the world? Caleb Williams is a big old loser, so is Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels also never threw for 20 touchdown passes in a season until his last year.
When he threw for how many?
40.
With how many picks?
4.
Same
as J.J. McCarthy, by the way.
And how many yards did he rush for?
Over 1,000.
J.J. McCarthy threw for 40 touchdowns?
No, he didn't. But J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, wait a minute. I was told he was going to break Michigan's single-season passing touchdown record. Did he get that done too?
Kiss those 4 rings that he's got. Oh. And I'm not saying that those are all.
No, I'm talking about what you said.
Who cares?
You said that.
I don't care. Happy to be wrong.
You said
National
that.
champions. Don't care. Happy to be wrong. Don't care.
I'm just going by what you said.
Fine. Don't care.
Okay.
I don't
All
care.
I can do is go by what you say.
Fine.
And all you can do is go by what I say. When I tell you we're live at the Planet Fitness Studios, and Planet Fitness is the best gym in the gym game. Hard stop, everybody. Black card, $1 down, $24.99 a month. Price doesn't change, everybody. You can go to any Planet Fitness in the world. Over 2,500 of them. There's over 50 in the Metro Detroit area alone. So wherever you are, Planet Fitness is close by. I've been a member for over 3 years. I'll never be a member at another gym. I've accomplished every fitness goal in my life with the help of Planet Fitness. That's just a fact, and you can do it too, but you got to take the first step. Go to planetfitness.com. You can join there. Pull in the parking lot. As I said, you're going to pass a couple on the way home from work today and join there. Stop talking about it and be about it. Take that first step. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
Nashville Hot Chicken is back at Soroki's. They got the tenders, the sandwich, loaded fries, and the all-new Nashville Hot Pizza. This is a limited-time offer, so make sure you come enjoy the delicious heat while you still can. You can go to one of their 11 convenient locations or order online at Sorokis.com. Nashville Hot is back at Soroki's.
All right, coming on the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC KG, Spencer Raxter, all of you. Get your thoughts into that Woodward Sports chat. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can be a part of the discussion. Detroit Dabber 313. Where is this you think player X's terrible thing coming from? He has questions about them, Sam. You can question a player without thinking they're, quote, terrible. And Dabber, look, it's not his fault. He, like a lot of Michigan fans, have this default mechanism where it always goes back to the default you're attacking Michigan. When, in fact, we are talking about the NFL draft. That Michigan shit's over now. Ooh. It's all done.
Oh, Joey Harrington on today.
What's that?
Tapping the heavyweights.
Hey.
We got Joey Harrington coming on the show.
Shout
today.
out.
Yeah.
He was pretty electric last time.
Yeah, it was a great interview.
I did like that one. Joey Harrington. Shout out Joey Harrington, man.
Yeah, man.
Poor guy.
I know, right?
Yeah. He's a cool guy, though.
Yeah, that's all, you know what? That's all you can say, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, he's a cool guy.
He made the best of it.
He certainly did financially.
Put in a terrible situation.
Yes, he was, no doubt about that. But no, that's the over defensiveness of Michigan fans, and you can't have an NFL draft conversation. You can't. You can't have any questions.
Yes, you can.
No, you can. He won a national title. You can't. You can't have any questions.
When have I, Flannel Sam, ever
He
said
should go number one overall.
When have I, Flannel Sam, Samuel Frederick Dyer Reynolds, my full fucking name, when have I ever said
Dyer?
When have I ever said that J.J. McCarthy won the national championship by himself, and that's why he should go
Well, no,
number
you can't
one?
say that because he, in fact, did not.
100%. I told you that the questions about Caleb Williams not being a winner and that J.J. McCarthy is the ultimate winner are foolish. I said that. Me, as somebody who loves what J.J. McCarthy did for Michigan, helping them win a national championship, being the best quarterback in school history. That's
and
all
I will
I'm
give
gonna-
you that. Like with
Yes.
J.J. McCarthy, there were segments of games where he did make the plays. 100%. I never ran away from that. And my flip to that with the whole Caleb Williams thing is show me a good big game that he ever played.
But you can say that Jaden Daniels didn't play well at Florida State. That's my thing. You would go back to, Jaden Daniels did all that he could. Say the same for Caleb Williams. When they lost that game to Tulane where they gave up 46 points, where they lost that game to Washington and they gave up 52.
Right, and I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I never expected him to play well in a big moment. Never.
But that's not a metric. That's just how you feel.
But he never seemed to play well in a big moment. Rarely.
Except that Tulane and that Washington game that I just mentioned that you want to erase from history.
What do you mean that I want to erase from history? Is it too much to ask him to win one of those?
It's too much to ask to expect somebody to have to score 50 points to win. And the reality is that, and as much as I love J.J. McCarthy, there was never a time and we're talking about J.J. now, there was never a time in the history of Michigan in which, except for TCU, but part of that was his fault, where he had to score that much to win, where that offense had to score that much to win. Yeah. I believe the most they ever gave up in a game this season was 24, Ohio State and Maryland.
Well, he had to score that much to win because he was directly responsible for 14 of the points that the other team got.
I said that against TCU.
Yeah.
I said that. Remember rewind 20 seconds ago. I said that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to reiterate that. Fair. I just don't know why you can't have the conversation about it without the defense mechanism like I'm attacking Michigan.
No.
Michigan has nothing to do with this. This is the NFL draft in Detroit this week.
The reason is because you're acting like the last season didn't happen, that he played a turnover-free college football playoff. He played a turnover-free.
Well, you're also acting like he didn't throw 3 picks and 140 yards against Bowling Green. Why? What's the why on that?
That's one game.
I can't explain it other than that was a blip because the evidence of his entire career will say that it is a blip.
One game early in the season.
That didn't cost him a damn thing. And that doesn't make it any better, but it didn't cost him a damn thing. So we
but why? What's the why? What's the why? Why did he play that badly against that bad of an opponent?
Every
why?
quarterback has a bad game. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
Why did Jaden Daniels have bad games?
I'm not going to defend it.
Right, but in those, like I said, in those games, like when they lost at Alabama, he still ran for 200 yards against Alabama.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? Like there were still moments of being dynamic.
I get it. But JJ winning, that's not dynamic enough for you. He's a winning quarterback.
No, I just asked the question.
I get it.
It's like, see, again, KG, you're a Michigan guy. Like, you can't ask the question. You see what I'm dealing with here,
I'm giving you fucking answers, and you're just like, nah, doesn't count. I'm all-world Emperor Neal. And your Neal, and your number one Neal bot, Detroit Dabber 313, will just continue to spew out all the Neal bot tags. Never had an original thought of your own that wasn't given you by Neal Ruhl.
Real.
Yeah, I've been holding on that for a long time, Dabber.
Talk your shit, Sam.
Real cream of wheat. Jaden Daniels has a stronger arm than JJ McCarthy.
I wouldn't say that.
Pretty even, I would say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if you argued one or the other.
Agreed. Agreed.
Hey, Spemo, what's your interpretation of this discussion?
I like JJ as a prospect a lot. I do think I agree with Flannel that I would consider the Bowling Green thing a blip rather than the norm.
Which and that's fine. Like, but why did it happen?
He had a bad day.
Right. A bad game.
Yeah.
You can ask that about any other quarterback. Literally, any other quarterback in this draft, you can ask that question.
Had a bad day, made the wrong reads, rushed some throws. He does, yeah. I mean, he's missed some throws for sure. Well, everybody misses throws. I like him as an NFL quarterback. I wouldn't take him at 2, but.
And that's where it is.
But like Sam said, that's not the norm. His career would tell you that he's a low turnover efficient quarterback.
Mason Gillespie says, according to Neal, JJ is the only draft prospect that's not allowed to have a bad few games. That's nitpicky as all hell. But when the bad games come against TCU and Bowling Green, to where you tell me, what about Jaden Daniels when they lost to Florida State? Oh, Florida State, that was a college football playoff team.
TCU,
before their quarterback got hurt.
College football playoff team. What are you talking about, bro? TCU was literally in the college football playoff. They were literally in the college football playoff. Yep. And Florida State, by definition, was not. Wow! Wow! If you're into facts, Neal Ruhl's favorite
that is a
line.
Michigan. That KG, get your guy right here. That is the most Michigan thing I've ever heard. They were not a college football playoff team.
They weren't.
Because they lost Jordan Travis and were excluded. Which, by the way, I told you was going to happen like that.
If you want to say that, then you got to give TCU their due as a college football playoff team. And I'm not defending it. I'm not defending the game.
No, you are.
What are you talking about?
No, you absolutely are.
Oh, okay, fine.
No, you absolutely are.
You cannot have a reasonable...
That is my question. Because when it happens to Jaden Daniels, it happens against Florida State, who was a college football playoff team before the quarterback got hurt, or it happens at Alabama, where he still runs for 200 yards. That's my point.
It's just seeming like you're planting your flag.
You're 100% planting your flag. You think JJ's a bum, and you think Jaden Daniels...
When did I say that?
You think JJ McCarthy's a bum, and you think Jaden
Do you want
Daniels...
Minnesota to draft him?
Tell me you don't believe it, JJ.
All right, let's cut the shit then. I want the Minnesota Vikings to draft JJ McCarthy.
Fine.
There's nothing I want more in my life. You know why? Because it's over for them. If they draft JJ McCarthy, it's over for them. And we will see. We will see. Fine. No, they will. I can't wait. Please. If there is one thing that I want to see, let me see the Vikings draft JJ McCarthy, and then I know one less obstacle for the Detroit Lions in the way to dominate this division going forward. One less obstacle in the way, Flannel. Is that what you guys wanted? Because it's always about Michigan, right? It's always about Michigan with you guys, because you can't wrap your head around the fact that we're talking NFL draft. You can't wrap your head around it. You can never get past it.
Neal,
ever.
I'm giving you a response.
It's like when people have questions about Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, well, come on, Aiden needs help. He needs help. You can't get past it. Ever, you guys can't. And I don't understand why.
You're factually incorrect.
Do you need meds for it? Like, what is it?
No, I don't need... Kiss the rings, baby. Kiss the rings.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Kiss the rings.
Fine.
We're not talking about Michigan.
Understand that.
We're talking about the NFL draft. Kiss the rings. Kiss the rings.
I've been critical of Mike Sanders still. I don't want the Lions to draft him. I've been critical
Why?
Because
why? He was on a national championship winning defense that was an impact player for them.
Do you want me to?
Why?
Do you want me to tell you why? Because he was a slot corner. He was a nickel, and he gave up some plays in coverage. I don't think he's a coverage tactician. I think he's a slightly worse.
Kiss the ring, Sam Flannel. Kiss his rings.
No, because you're saying stuff that I believe is unfounded, and I give you reasons.
Kiss his ring. I'm giving you a ring. I'm giving you a reason. Kiss his rings.
I give you reasons that actually are based in fact and based in improvement and all of that, and you're just like, TCU, Bowling Green. That's all you can say. You're a fucking robot, Neal.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one going, kiss the rings, kiss the rings, kiss the rings.
Because you're talking shit about Michigan fans, and we
Michigan
don't deserve
criticism
that.
overload. Kiss the rings.
So the Detroit Tigers.
We got a break, right? Tell them about Lady James. If they handed out rings for haircuts,
Lady James
would win all the way. They'd be like, kiss the rings.
Hey, Lady James would have hardware like JJ McCarthy did. For sure. Oh, because they give the best haircuts. They've given me some of the best haircuts. The do that I have right now, courtesy of Lady Jane's. Walk in anytime. You get your precision haircuts. You can, you got walk-ins, appointments. I would probably give. Make an appointment, but you know what? Get treated up, get the hot towel massage, get anything you want at Lady Jane's, and you can be looking your best, whether it's a job interview, whether it's work, whether it's a date. Go to Lady Jane's, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. The world is about to have their eyes on Detroit, so we figure we show them how Detroit parties. Join us at the 313 Draft Party, presented by Flagger Law on Woodward and Adams in Detroit, April 25th and 26th. That's right, we're taking over the city with a live broadcast from the 313 Draft Party, sponsored by Jars, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown, covering the NFL Draft like only Woodward Sports can. Join the entire Woodward family when the first round begins at 8 p.m. This party is 21 plus, free to the public, and opens at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Come watch the live broadcast for rounds 1, 2, and 3 at the best draft party in the D. Ain't no party like a Detroit party, especially when you party with Woodward Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Sorokas, Glorious, and Flagger Law. All we do is win.
Hey, all right. WoodwardSports.com/shop. Get Woodward Sports stuff, all right? Get ready for the draft. WoodwardSports.com/shop. It's hoodie season and beanie season still. It was freezing Saturday morning, all right? I'm trying to coach my daughter's soccer team. WoodwardSports.com/shop. All right, get in here, everybody. Get in here, because all you Michigan bots in the chat right now, here's what I want. Kevin Bell, if J.J. McCarthy won a national championship for Michigan State, Neal will be kissing the floor he walked on.
He's not a State fan.
Kevin Bell, I don't give a shit about Michigan State. So stop with that. That's wrong. Here's what I want from you guys, okay? Here's what I want from you guys. Can you say this? And watch this, Spenny. Their defense mechanism won't let them do this, all right? Either of you two, since you're Michigan bots, can you give me this? Can you do this for me? Say, you know what, Neal? You were right. You were right about Michigan, and we were wrong.
Okay.
Can you do that?
You were right because you were very condescending in your tone in picking Michigan to win.
No. I'm not asking about pick. I'm not asking about the pick. I'm not asking about that.
What were you right about?
The state of the franchise.
The state of the franchise, the program, where I said you are going to have to do unscrupulous things to get over the hump and win national titles. Okay. You are going to have to do that. And they did. And they did. And this guy, no. You don't get to do that, KG. The guy we're talking about right now was illegally recruited to Michigan.
Yes.
He was. Your coaches have show causes now.
You think he's the only coach to ever
No. See? He can't, Spenny.
Yeah.
I can admit
he
that.
can't say
but
it.
You can also admit
Flannel,
that every
Flannel,
other
can you
coach
say
has
that?
done it.
Can you say Neal? Because obviously KG can't. Can you say that?
Neal, I've said it before. You were right. You were right. But, you know, wait.
Let me fire up that defense mechanism.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
This whole conversation stemmed from the fact that I was giving you reasons why I actually think J.J. McCarthy is a perfectly fine and capable NFL prospect, and you just basically said you're a Michigan bot. That's what happened.
You are.
I'm not a Michigan bot.
KG's botting out right now.
I'm botting out.
He's literally botting out in front of you.
Hey, I'll be a bot. That's fine. Kiss the rings, deal.
Kiss. There you go. Kiss the rings.
Because we don't have to listen to anything.
No, KG, can you just say, Neal, you were right. We had to change up the way we operated, and you were right.
Sure.
What was that Jim Harbaugh quote that if you have to cheat to win, you've already lost?
Yes. But that's different.
Yeah, well, it's not him.
And look, again, Spenmo, they won.
Yeah, for sure. I would do it in a heartbeat.
So would I.
Yeah, like I said, if Michigan State hired Satan himself, but we won a championship, I'm good with it.
That's all I want to say. Danny G doesn't change anything.
Not even
no, he was
in-game
illegally
cheating.
recruited.
We're talking
Your
about
coaches have show cause. You have NCAA violations to prove it.
Okay.
It happened.
I think.
So I was right.
Were we the only team to ever?
I'm right. You're wrong.
Yeah. I win, you lose.
Good day, sir.
I think what he was saying when he said it doesn't change anything, it's not about changing the outcomes. It doesn't change the fact that Michigan's the national champion.
No, for sure.
Exactly.
I think that's what he was alluding to.
In football game cheating.
Facts. They cheated
A
in game
recruiting
2.
violation. So what?
No.
So
But
what?
your coach,
So what?
your coach said that's not what you do. Your fan said that's not what you do.
Okay.
Until you do, right?
You are correct.
So just say, hey, we had to commit NCAA violations to win a national championship. Just say it.
Because you put an
Say it.
asterisk on our ring now.
No, I'm not.
That's
No.
exactly what that is.
Spenny, how many times do I have to say this, Spenny?
They're so proud.
I'm telling you that I watched you get the championship trophy. No matter what happens,
so
you guys
just-
are the
just
champions.
say we're the national
you guys are.
champions without
I've said it 100
recruiting
times. You guys are the national champions.
And you can't
are the
say that
national
without saying
champions.
recruiting
You are
violations
because
at the
you did.
Okay.
You're telling me what you think. I'm telling you what we know.
And I'm telling you
Just
that
say it.
you can't say we're
Say-
national champions without putting that spice on there.
But you did. Your coaches have show causes. The player that you have the show cause and the violations is J.J. McCarthy.
If we're the national champions,
Can you
like
say
we are?
Can you say we
then
illegally? Can you say
that
that?
sentence without
What?
the spice on the end?
But I can't because it happened.
You're incapable of doing that. I'm incapable of it.
No, I'm telling the truth. Can you say we illegally recruited J.J. McCarthy at Michigan?
I can if you can say every
No, can you say it?
goddamn college team.
Can you say it?
Every premier college
No.
team has done it.
Can you say Michigan illegally recruited J.J. McCarthy to go to Michigan?
I can if you can say he ain't the only coach to ever do it.
No, because we're not talking about that.
Okay.
We're talking about Michigan.
Yeah.
So can you say, again, for the 8th time, KG, can you say we illegally recruited J.J. McCarthy to go to school at
Can
Michigan?
you say we are the national
So no, you
champions,
can't.
period?
All right, we're not getting anywhere here, dude. Can you say it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can say we illegally recruited J.J. McCarthy to go to school at Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan illegally recruited J.J. McCarthy to go to school at Michigan, and it doesn't matter because they won. I'm cool with it.
And Neal can't just say
I have
we're
respect for
national
you.
champions.
Doesn't matter because they won.
What about my response to him when he says, "Can't you just say we're national champions and stop?" Is it part of the story?
It's part of the story, but
You don't get to choose the consequences of those actions, KG. You don't get to choose that.
Okay.
We should just not care. That's the thing. National champions, great. We had the
Yeah.
celebration. We moved on. We haven't even moved on. We're still reveling in it.
And the punishment was probation. Like if it was such a big deal, then we would have had a
Right,
stiffer
but-
punishment.
but you illegally recruited him.
Another one's coming.
Absolutely. All right, that is it. Wendy Espinoza, Tigers Talk. Anyone?
Good job.
Chuck Brewer. Neal can't admit he hates Michigan. We all get it.
Yeah.
No.
You can't. Just like we can't admit that.
They're the
you can't admit
champions.
that.
I watched
Michigan.
it.
I openly hate Michigan.
That's fair.
Wendy Espinoza, Tigers Talk. Anyone? Real quick. You know why the Bats came to life?
Why?
Because A.J. Hinch had an epiphany and said, I don't care where these guys play in the field. I need guys out there that can hit.
Yeah.
I'm putting Winfield Perez out there in the field. I don't care what gets booted. None of it. I don't care. We need runs.
You want to admit you was wrong about Kerry Carpenter, but you know.
He's the best hitter they have.
Yeah, now you're saying that now.
Because he is.
I tried to say give him a chance.
He is. All right, we'll be back at it tomorrow, everybody. It's Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Flannel, Sam, KG, Spencer Rasher. I'm Neal Ruhl. Well, see you later.